Cowboy. Hey, I got a new tractor. The Ferguson has been acting up a little bit. Still runs fine, still works fine, but just, it's an older tractor and it's about worn out. So I picked up this Agri-Power 5000. It's actually a Czechoslovakian tractor. They're imported under the Agri-Power name. I think they're called Zetors. I think it's a Zetor 5011. It's about 45 to 50 horse compared to the Ferguson, which is about 30 to 35 horse. So it's a bigger tractor, quite a bit bigger. I think it has Cat 2 hookups on the 3-point, so everything's a little heavier duty. Also has hydraulic hookup for hoses. Seems to be a nice tractor. I've been messing around with it here in the garage a little bit. It has a 3-cylinder diesel. So a 3-cylinder diesel engine. Yeah, PTO, high-low. It's a 10-speed. Rear tires already have fluid in them. They've got pretty good tread. Front tires have pretty good tread too. It's got a little mount system up here if we wanted to add weights to the front. So it does have some issues though that I've been kind of messing around with. I'll have to work through. The wiring for all the lights is all wore plumb out, so I've been taking apart some of the wiring and kind of messing around with some of that. It needs all to be replaced. So there's several headlights and several lights that we can use, but they just need to be cleaned up and fixed. So I got this tractor really cheap because the hydraulics aren't working. So they're not working because somebody broke the shaft off, and then also there's a PTO brake on these machines, and that brake cable is seized up. So it currently, you can't engage the PTO because none of it's hooked up. So I'm gonna probably take it apart, take some things apart, try to free up those cables, put that PTO shaft back on, and see if I can figure something out. The tractor seems to be pretty tight. Engine runs well. Transmission feels really tight when you shift through the gears. And then, just drivetrain and everything else seems to be pretty tight. The wheel bearings, when you kind of wobble it back and forth, everything feels good. So I'm hoping that the hydraulic issue is minor and it just requires just a little bit of repair and cables and just a lever. But we'll see. Also, something kind of cool and unique to these is it doesn't have the regular pumpkin or I guess the rear differential. So it's kind of has an offset system. Rear differential sits a little higher. Your rear axles run through that system, and then there's probably a gear system that runs down to the tires. So it gives you a little bit more ground clearance, which is kind of nice, more than the Fords and the Ferguson. So I'll try to start it up. We'll see if it'll start. Also has a foot pedal in addition to a hand throttle, which is kind of neat. and a push start button here. Alright. Started right up. I took the shifter off earlier, so got to get it out of gear. There you have it. Runs pretty well. Started well. And I hope it'll be a good tractor for us. Like I said, it's got some hydraulic issues, but hoping once I get those resolved, hope it'll work well.